What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. In today's video we're taking a look at all the god rolls for all the Dares of Eternity weapons. There are 6 incredible new weapons in this game mode alone, so if you want to find out the rolls that you should be seeking out, then be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now, upon the launch of the 30th anniversary pack, we got 2 massive pieces of new content. We got a brand new dungeon, the Grasp of Avarice, and also the Dares of Eternity, a brand new game mode that's been headed up by Xur and his trusty Starhorse. Now, along with this game mode, we got 6 brand new weapons, and some of these weapons are going to be absolutely top tier, not just in PvE, but also PvP. Now, all these weapons can be earned for free from the Dares of Eternity activity. By completing that, you'll get treasure keys, and you can use these treasure keys over at Xur's treasure hoard over at the Eternity node on the Director. Now, the first weapon we're going to take a look at today is the Pardon Our Dust. This is a brand new lightweight grenade launcher introduced with the 30th anniversary pack. Now, this weapon sits in your kinetic slot and uses special ammo. Now, as well as new weapons, we also have some new perks that are available on some of these weapons, and we'll cover those as we go through the video. Now, this grenade launcher has 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column, meaning that it shouldn't be too difficult to get a fairly good roll on this weapon. Now, in the first column, you have a choice of Killing Wind, Ambitious Assassin, Autoloading Holster, Pulse Monitor, Ensemble, and a brand new perk called Perpetual Motion. Now, Perpetual Motion is where the weapon gains bonus stability, handling, and reload speed while the wielder of the weapon is in motion. So essentially, as long as you're moving, you'll get a bonus to your stability, handling, and reload, making this a very strong perk indeed. In the final column, you have a choice once again between 6 perks, one of those being Adrenaline Junkie, which got a nice buff as part of the 30th anniversary pack. This is alongside Rampage, Demolitionist, Danger Zone, Vorpal Weapon, and Wellspring. So once again, there's a great choice of perks on offer, allowing for excellent combinations for PvP and also PvE. Now, in terms of the absolute god roll on this weapon, if we start off with the launcher barrel, you'll be looking for something like Volatile Launch and Hard Launch. Now, your choice here for the most part will come down to personal preference, with Hard Launch providing plus 15 to your velocity and Volatile Launch providing plus 15 to your blast radius. In the next column, you have your magazine choice. Now, the 2 standout choices on pretty much any grenade launcher are the good old trusty spike grenades and also blinding grenades. Blinding grenades are very strong, especially in end game pieces of content. So if you're looking to run the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, then blinding grenades will come in clutch during the final boss encounter for that pesky shank. Now, in the middle column, you have 2 standout choices. You have the trusty Autoloading Holster, where holstering the weapon will automatically reload it after a short period, or even Ambitious Assassin, which overflows the magazine based on the number of rapid kills made before reloading. Perpetual Motion is there, but those are most definitely the 2 standout perks on this weapon for that particular column. Now, in the final column, we have some great choices once again. Vorpal Weapon makes a return, which increases damage against bosses, vehicles, and any guardians with their super active. Now, that would be the absolute go-to choice for the absolute god roll, with something like Blinding Grenades, Autoloading Holster, and Vorpal Weapon. But another worthy choice is also Rampage, where kills with the weapon will temporarily grant increased damage. And as we know, that stacks up to 3 times. So whether you're seeking out the absolute god roll of Blinding Grenades, Autoloading Holster, Vorpal Weapon, another worthy alternative would be Spike Grenades, Ambitious Assassin, with both of those being incredible rolls on this brand new lightweight frame grenade launcher. But as always guys, if you have any preferred rolls or perk combinations, then be sure to sound off down in the comments below. Now, the next weapon in this set is called Half Truths. This is a legendary power sword, and this one is Adaptive Frame. Now, unlike that grenade launcher though, this only has 4 perks in the 3rd and 4th column. Once again, some of those being entirely brand new. Now, one of those is called Duelist's Trance. Now, this is where the sword final blows grant increased charge rate, efficiency, and defense until that weapon is stowed. This is alongside Thresh, Tireless Blade, and also Relentless Strikes. In the 4th column, we once again have a brand new perk. This is called Eager Edge. This is where you gain increased sword lunge distance immediately after switching to the weapon, which is a very strong perk, and we'll talk about that later in the video. This is alongside Assassin's Blade, On Guard, and also Harmony that was introduced last season. Now, the Half Truths is one of 2 swords that make up the Dares of Eternity set. And some of these swords you're going to be seeing a lot of, especially inside PvP. Now, with this sword having limited perk options, it does mean you can get a good roll fairly easily. But with that being said, only 5% of players still have their hands on the Half Truths legendary sword. Now in the first column we have our blade options. Now if you're looking for increased damage, then naturally you'll be looking for something like Jagged Edge. But if you want something to increase your ammo capacity and ammo reserves, then Hungry Edge is also available. Both of those are great choices and once again come down to personal preference. Now next up we have the guard choices, and the most popular choice currently on this sword is Balance Guard. This increases your stability, defense, inventory size and efficiency by +50 without penalizing your charge time at all. It's a great overall balance boost to all your defenses and is a great choice on this sword overall. Now in the first column, as we said, we only have 4 choices from the perks on offer. The go-to choice on this sword is currently Relentless Strikes. This is where landing 3 attack hits within a short period of time will grant you sword ammo. Another great choice if you can't get your hands on that is Duelist's Trance. And that is where final blows increase the charge rate, efficiency and defense until that weapon is stowed. Now once again in the final column we have 4 choices. One of those choices is Assassin's Blade, where sword kills boost your movement speed and damage, but the go-to perk and a popular perk on both of the swords that are available as part of the Dares of Eternity set is the Eager Edge perk. Now this allows you to gain increased sword lunge distance immediately after switching to the weapon, and this is extremely strong, not just inside the Crucible, but it allows you to sword skate on pretty much any class in the game inside PvE and PvP. So fully expect to see Guardians flying all over the place in all sorts of game modes if they're getting this perk on either of the new swords that were introduced as part of the 30th anniversary pack. Now the half-truths is of Arc Element, and the absolute god roll in combination of all the choices would be Hungry Edge, Balance Guard, Relentless Strikes and Eager's Edge. But as always guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. Have you got your hands on this sword? And further still, have you got your hands on one with Eager's Edge? And if you have, be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now next up we have a brand new trace rifle, the first of its type, and this comes in the form of Retraced Path. This is a legendary energy trace rifle, and this one deals solo damage and uses special ammo. Now this is the first legendary trace rifle inside Destiny 2 and is heavily themed on the carbine from Halo. Now this one is adaptive frame, so it has a well-rounded grip, is reliable and sturdy, and comes with 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column. Now up until now, if you've ever wanted to run a trace rifle, you'll need to use up an exotic slot. However, with the Traced Path, that is no longer the case. Now out of all the new weapons that have been introduced as part of the anniversary pack, this is actually one of my favourites, and I've been using this a lot, especially inside PvE. Now much like some of the other weapons we've covered already, there are some new perks on offer. Now in the 3rd column you have a choice between Genesis, Perpetual Motion, Shoot to Loot, Subsistence, Killing Wind, and also Feeding Frenzy. Now Subsistence on this weapon is extremely strong, especially after the rework this got in a previous season. Now Subsistence is where defeating targets partially reload the magazine from reserves, so as long as you're getting kills with your trace rifle, this will continuously reload from your ammo reserves. It keeps you in the action for longer and turns this weapon into a continuous laser beam. Now in the 4th column once again we have 6 options. You have a choice between Disruption Break, Harmony, One for All, a brand new perk called Golden Tricorn. Now this is where final blows with the weapon will grant bonus damage, and while that buff is active, grenade and melee kills of the same damage type greatly increase its damage and duration. This is alongside Frenzy and also Demolitionist. Now much like Subsistence, Tricorn is an absolutely insane perk, especially on this weapon, and when you pair them together you have an absolute god roll in your hands. Now in terms of the absolute god roll options then, you first off have the barrel options. Arrowhead Break is there to help boost your handling and reload, and Corkscrew Rifling is also there, which boosts the stability, handling and range. Both of those are great options and form great foundations for the god roll on this weapon. Next up we have a choice of battery options. You have Particle Repeater, which will increase its stability by +10, but the go-to choice will be Enhanced Battery, and this increases your magazine size by +20. When you pair that with a perk like Subsistence, you have deeper ammo reserves, and as we said earlier in the video, as long as you're getting kills, then this gun will continuously take ammo from your reserves to keep you in the fight. Another worthy choice though is the new perk called Perpetual Motion, where the weapon gains bonus stability, handling and reload speed while you're in motion. But to complete the absolute god roll on this weapon alongside Subsistence is Golden Tricorn. When you pair that with Subsistence, which is continuously refilling your magazine, and Tricorn, which is where final blows with the weapon grant bonus damage, these perks together make for an absolutely deadly combination. And as we mentioned, it makes for a continuous laser beam that gets more and more potent the more enemies you kill. Now as things currently stand, over 5% of players have their hands on the Retraced Path trace rifle right now, So if you haven't got your hands on one already, be sure to seek one out, and most definitely be seeking out the Enhanced Battery, Subsistence and Golden Tricorn roll, which is absolutely deadly on this weapon. Now the next weapon we're taking a look at, and one of the popular ones in the entire set, is called the Wastelander M5. This is a legendary kinetic shotgun. This one is also a lightweight frame, so it has superb handling, and you also move faster when you have the weapon equipped. Now this weapon sits in your kinetic slot and uses special ammo, and is almost like Chaperone's little brother. Now as like with most of the weapons in this set, this one has 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column, and once again there are some new perks on offer as well. Now out of the 6 choices that you have available in the 3rd column, you have a choice between Ensemble, Subsistence, Double Loader, Lead from Gold, Perpetual Motion Returns, alongside Slide Shot. Now on a weapon such as this, which is lightweight frame and a shotgun, something like Perpetual Motion really starts to shine. Now in the final column we once again have those 6 choices. These are split between Harmony, Killing Wind, 1-2 Punch, Opening Shot, Trench Barrel, and also Adagio, which was added last season. Now one of the most popular kinetic shotguns in the game is the Reese Walker shotgun from Iron Banner, but with some of the perks that this has on offer and some of the base weapon stats that it has available to it, this has the potential to have more range than the Reese Walker and really challenge for that crown as the best kinetic shotgun inside Destiny 2. It's a big statement, but be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now as for the actual god roll though, you only have 6 barrel choices on this weapon. The go-to choice though would be Rifled Barrel, which would increase your range by +10 with a -15 to your handling. Now you can either pair this with Accurized rounds, which will boost your range by +10, or the popular choice of Assault Mag. This will improve its rate of fire, which helps you get a second shot off in a thick of action, which is key, especially inside the Crucible. Now if you can get either of those perks as the foundational perks on this weapon, you are setting yourself up for success when seeking out the god roll on the Wastelander M5. Now in the 3rd column, in terms of standout perks, you have 2 excellent choices. If you're going for the PvP role, then Slide Shot is a great choice, where sliding partially reloads the weapon's magazine and temporarily boosts your range and stability. But a fantastic perk, and a brand new one on this weapon, is Perpetual Motion. Now this is lightweight frame, which already increases your mobility, but this perk will help increase your stability, handling and reload just by being in motion. So as long as you're moving around as you always would, Perpetual Motion will always be active, providing these passive bonuses to your weapon instead. If you're looking for a good PvE perk though, then Subsistence is a great choice, and as we know, defeating targets will partially reload your weapon from the magazine's reserves. Now in the final column we once again have 6 options. Now if you're seeking out the absolute god roll for PvP, then you'll want to pair Perpetual Motion with something like Opening Shot. Now Opening Shot improves your accuracy and range on the opening shot of attack, and is always seen as a great choice inside the Crucible. You can either pair that with Perpetual Motion or even Slide Shot as an excellent alternative. It's important to remember there were some changes to sliding in the Crucible, especially when it comes to using weapons such as shotguns. But once again, the choice between Perpetual Motion and Slide Shot is likely a personal choice. But if you're seeking out the current god roll on the Wastelander M5, you'll be seeking out Rifled Barrel, Assault Magazine, Perpetual Motion, and Opening Shot. But as always guys, if you have any perk combinations or role suggestions, be sure to sound off down in the comments below. Now the penultimate weapon in our video today is called the Other Half. This is a legendary power sword of Void Element. Now much like the other sword in the Dares of Eternity set, this is also adaptive frame. And once again, much like that weapon, this only has 4 perks in the 3rd and 4th column, hopefully making it a bit easier to get that god roll. Now unlike the other sword though, little over 1% of players even have their hands on this incredible sword. And further still, this can have even more deadly perk combinations than the original sword we covered earlier in the video. This is definitely the standout sword in the set, so you most definitely will want to get a god roll on this weapon. Now in terms of blade options, you once again have a choice between Hungry Edge and Jagged Edge as the standout choices. If you're looking for more ammo and deeper ammo reserves, then Hungry Edge is the top tier choice. Much like the previous sword, you have the same guard options, once again with Balanced Guard coming out on top, providing a massive overall boost across your stability, defense, inventory size, efficiency, with no penalties to your charge time. Now in terms of actual legendary traits, as we said, there are 4 perks in each column. In the first column we have Eager Edge. This is a brand new perk and is also on the other sword, however this one is in the 3rd column. So as a result, we can pair this with some pretty incredible perks. This is alongside Relentless Strikes, Duelist's Trance, which is also a new perk, and Energy Transfer. And what makes Eager's Edge so good is the massive lunge that you get against your combatants. All you need to do is simply switch to the weapon. This makes it excellent for surprising your target or just moving around the map like an absolute gamer. Now in the final column we have some excellent choices. You can choose between Vorpal Weapon, Whirlwind Blade, Frenzy, and Surrounded. Now some of these perks weren't even available on the original sword we covered earlier in the video, and as a result make this the absolute standout sword in the set. Now as we mentioned, only 1% of players have this sword, so it's definitely the rarer of the two swords on offer. But if you're looking for the absolute god roll, then you'll be seeking out a roll with Hungry Edge, Balanced Guard, Eager's Edge, alongside Vorpal Weapon. Vorpal Weapon increases the damage against bosses, vehicles and guardians with their super active, and when you pair that with the incredible lunge that Eager Edge gives you, those are the perfect partners when it comes to forming an incredible god roll on this weapon. It's definitely the better half of the two swords and will be well worth the effort to get your hands on one. Now the final weapon in our video today is the BxR-55 Battler Legendary Energy Pulse Rifle. This is heavily themed on the battle rifle from Halo and is actually a legacy PR-55 frame, a brand new frame which is customized to dramatically increase accuracy, stability and targeting when firing from the hip. Now this weapon fires at 450 rounds per minute and fires in a 3-round burst. This weapon uses primary ammo and deals solo damage. Now much like a lot of weapons in this set, this has 6 perks in the 3rd and 4th column, and as things currently stand, only 6% of players have their hands on the Battler Pulse Rifle up until now. Now in the 3rd column you have some pretty incredible choices. You have things like Outlaw, Killing Wind, Autoloading Holster, Perpetual Motion, Demolitionist and Snapshot Sights. Some great choices both for PvE and PvP. And what makes the BxR-55 Battler stand out versus the other weapons in the set is this has an exclusive perk available to it. Not only does it have a dedicated frame customized for this weapon, but also comes with a new perk in the final column called Blunt Execution Rounds. Now this is where damaging nearby combatants with melee abilities dramatically increases handling and damage, and this expires after a short duration or until the next shot. It's a unique perk on this weapon and is very strong in all pieces of content. That perk comes alongside Eye of the Storm, Kill Clip, Adrenaline Junkie, Elemental Capacitor and also Rangefinder. So there are some very strong perks available, especially in the last column, allowing this weapon to be a potential deadly weapon in any form of content. Now if you're seeking out the absolute god roll, there are some excellent barrel choices, something like Corkscrew Rifling which will boost the range by +5 alongside the handling and stability, or even Arrowhead Break which boosts your recoil stat by +30 and your handling by +10. Both are fantastic choices, providing bonuses to your handling and stability. Now in terms of magazine choice, you could go with Accurized Rounds for +10 to your range, or if you're looking for increased range as well as a boost to your stability, then Ricochet Rounds can also roll on this weapon. Now in terms of actual legendary traits, there are 2 standout choices. The number 1 being Outlaw, where precision kills greatly decrease the reload speed on this weapon. When you pair that with something like Kill Clip, which rolls in the 4th column, where reloading after a kill greatly increases your damage, those 2 perks together are the deadly duo when it comes to pulse rifles inside Destiny 2. However, if you're looking for another great alternative, then Perpetual Motion and Blunt Execution Rounds is also a fantastic roll. All in all, this weapon has fantastic utility and is well worth the effort to get your hands on a god roll. So there we have it guys, a good look at all 6 legendary weapons from the Dares of Eternity activity. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the 2 videos you see here in these cards for more Destiny 2 content. And if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with Destiny 2, be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.